So here we are again, Wilshire Boulevard, pretty much the tail end of the Miracle Mile district, because Miracle Mile goes from Fairfax all the way to La Brea along this strip anyway. Pretty much this section, it's like a big box that contains the Miracle Mile area for the most part. I mean, even where I grew up is considered a part of the Miracle Mile district, even though it's outside of the mile-long stretch that developer A.W. Ross bought in the 1920s. And so this dude, A.W. Ross, he basically wanted to attract businesses and shops, sort of like competition with places like Beverly Hills that was kicking butt on the west side. Hollywood was kind of developing along in the 1920s. But his plan was a little different because he wanted his buildings to have a very distinctive look and attract people from their cars. So a lot of the buildings along Wilshire, especially down there by the Ralph's where we were specifically designed to attract you from your car as you're driving by. They have these big windows with their product in the window, and then you would get out and drive around. Parking lots in the back of the building and that sort of thing. Cliff notes. So right here we have the Peterson Museum, which is really cool. It was built in 1994. I used to go to this spot a lot before it was renovated. What you're looking at is the renovated version. But real cool spot. But there was a pretty big tragedy that happened right here in 1997. Notorious B.I.G. was actually gunned down right here in front of this building. And I remember coming home from a club that same night, and I was coming on the 217 bus, which travels south on Fairfax right here. And this was all roped off. You know, police were doing their investigation, which is funny because they still haven't found or solved that case. But I went home, fell asleep, woke up, saw the news report, and it was Biggie, and I was like, wow, right here in my neighborhood, which was crazy at the time. So that's one thing, but it's a really cool spot if you want to learn about cars. It's a car museum. Also has a lot of history on LA, a lot of good photos of the way this used to look, this intersection right here. You got the May Company, or what used to be the May Company department store, and the building was built right about 1939, 1940. And it's going to be the Academy Motion Pictures Museum. They're going to have a whole lot of archives and all kinds of cool stuff opening up this year. But yeah, it was a department store. So, and then also right over there you got Johnny's. Before that, it used to be a drive-in restaurant called Simon's. About 1935, you know, you could drive up in your car and just get your food. You know, it's kind of crazy. But and also this is where Charlie Chaplin's brother Sid had an airfield around this area as well. So imagine test flights happening in this section, right about here actually. Test flights from here to New York. So a lot of transition happening. That was probably about 1922, I think. 1920s. A lot of this stuff I'm talking about started up pretty much in the 20s. But not sure about that corner, so I'm not even going to mention that. But a lot of cool stuff, a lot of development. Miracle Mile, the Mile of Miracles. Oh, the reason why it's called Miracle Mile. So basically, A.W. Ross, with his development plan, you know, you come up with a new idea, and a lot of people don't have faith in your idea. You know, especially if it's something that's never been. All right, make your turn. That's LA. A lot of times you come up with an idea, people don't have faith in it. I don't know why, you know. And it was called Ross's Follies at first. Now, to my understanding, there was a conversation that A.W. Ross was having with a friend, and he said, well, that sounds like that mile would be a miracle. And there it is, and the name stuck pretty much. So it became the Mile of Miracles. A lot of successful business, and basically in competition with all the other development areas in Los Angeles. Wilshire Boulevard is my favorite street. You know, this was my route going to high school on the bus back when it was RTD, Rapid Transit District, and I love Wilshire a lot. You know, it's you know, Mike the Poet, he calls it the spine of Los Angeles because it pretty much travels through the center of LA. Like if you want to go on a scenic route in Los Angeles, travel down Wilshire. It actually started in downtown LA way back during LA's initial beginnings, and then they stretched it all the way west, ending on the beach on Ocean Boulevard. So it's actually a really good scenic street. You go through a lot of different areas from Beverly Hills, MacArthur Park on the east side, Koreatown a little bit. So much to talk about, but I love Wilshire. It's my favorite street in LA. This is where I grew up.